Okay, hello and good morning, everyone. Welcome to Easy Markets Daily Pitch International with me, Darius. Today's the 11th of May, 2023, guys. So, welcome, everyone. Welcome to this Thursday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, a few of the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So, the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendations and should not be considered as such. This material should not be taken as an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. Look, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, just a quick mentioning of our Easy Markets website, which you can always check out for more information about us, guys. So, now then, let's jump into the charts, guys. The first one I want to pick up here, as always, Nikkei 225. So yesterday, we did get a bit of data, if you're not aware of that, but yeah, we did get a bit of data from the US. The CPIs came out. Look, the headline year-on-year number declined, went a little bit lower, not far from the previous forecast, but came out a little bit lower. So basically, I have to admit that my guesses were incorrect, but hey, you know, unfortunately, I don't have a crystal ball. The only thing is I can do is try to reach some sort of a logical solution or, you know, conclusion and try to guess. But yeah, we came out lower. That kind of played out nicely with the markets in a way, I would say. Maybe not as spectacularly, but still, the markets did kind of gain a little bit, not much. But I'll get to the US ones in a bit. Looking at Nikkei here, I can see that yesterday we had a bit of a choppy session, but we're still above this short-term upside support line taken from the low of the 6th of April, and we're also below still this 29,235 territory. So basically, in other words, I said to you before that in order to go higher, I need to see a clearance of this barrier. Until I get that, I'm not really getting comfortable with the upside. Yes, cautiously bullish I am right now, yeah. But just because we are kind of forming something of an ascending triangle pattern right here. However, if this starts shifting to the downside, if it breaks the upside line and falls below the highlighted territory right here, then yep, that's where it could turn out to be a little bit more ugly for a few more sellers. Not sellers. For the sellers, it would be great. For the buyers, I'm talking about. So yeah, keep your eyes on that, guys. ASX 200, just a quick update on that one as well. Look, we're still oscillating around those EMAs, especially the 50 day EMA. But the most important is that my levels here that I mentioned before are still intact, not intact, but still holding, I would say, because look, yes, today we had a bit of a drop here below this hurdle, but quickly reversed to the upside, but we're still kind of not close enough to this 7,300 territory. That's my barrier for the upside. If we clear that, then yeah, more buyers could join in here. Now, there we go. Now, let's jump into the US indices. So, Nasdaq 100, there we go. The best performer yesterday. Nasdaq did pop above the my barrier here, the 13,350. I talked a lot about this. We also stayed above it, so that's all great. Everything's working out so far nicely. Let's see if we can reach my other target, the area near the 13,500 territory, approximately around there. If we can get that move here, great. If we can get that break, even better. Then my next target will be the 13,740, marked by the highest point of August of last year, and then we will kind of go from there. Now, in terms of the downside, yes, of course, a move, first of all, a move back below this 13,350 territory is needed, and then maybe a break of this upside line as well, so just for that extra confirmation. But for now, the downside scenarios, for me, it's slightly off the table. Look, the markets yesterday reacted in a positive way, some of them, because the Dow, for example, remained kind of flat for the day, but the S&P and the Nasdaq was the best performer. They went a little bit to the upside. Now, of course, because the inflation number came out lower, this kind of pushes the CME, this probability a little bit lower here, and you can see yesterday we were at around what, like around 20, something like that. 24, I think, yep, and quickly drifted back to the downside. This probability for a 25 basis point rate hike on the 14th of June. Look, okay, that's fine. In a way, the lower inflation number is kind of contributing to that idea that the Fed won't go with the rate hike during the next meeting. But I would say this way, we still have some data to go through. We'll still have today, for example, we do have the US PPI number. We'll still go through NFPs again, and I think we'll get another inflation number. So just kind of be careful with that. That I'm talking about before the next meeting. So, we still have a bunch of data to come out. So just kind of, keep your eyes on that. Be careful. And another thing, of course, we'll continue monitoring the debt ceiling saga. Kind of, everybody's now talking about it again, and like, okay, it seems like we need some sort of negativity. But in general, I think that for now, I think the market might stick around with the upside unless something kind of drastic will come in. Like for example, that they cannot agree on a debt ceiling, and I think that eventually they will. I think there's just more of to keep the drama there, and just to kind of make that a little bit of a show. Again, we can speculate a lot here, guys, but I think that eventually they will reach the deal. So, maybe we could see the market pulling back a little bit. And again, some of you are thinking, hey, what about that saying, sell in May, go away, right? I mean, somehow it's not really kind of working. Well, look, it's still the first 1/3, the first third of the month. So we still have 2/3 of the month to go through. So maybe something will change. But at this point, look, we're pushing higher. Unless this, let's say on Nasdaq here, unless we start drifting back below this 13,350 territory, that's where I will start maybe getting a little bit concerned. Maybe, we could see a bit of a slide here. But again, let's take it carefully. Let's take it slowly. Let's not rush into anything. I think this is the moment where I don't know if it's like long term, let's say if you're into stocks or, I don't think that this is like the moment for, let's say, starting to buy stocks and going, for keeping them for long term. No, I think that the best opportunity right now would be just to wait for some sort of a throwback, and wait for like a decline and then do something about it. But at this point, look, okay, we're going higher, great. So unless you just kind of slowly capture these little, jumps higher, then yeah, great. But again, there are many theories, guys, out there, and that's why, you should kind of apply what you think is best for you, what's working for you. That's the thing. You always need to find something that works best for you and you only. Because, you can listen to me, you can listen to my ideas, you can listen to other people's ideas, but still, something that works for me might not work for you guys. So that's why I just kind of take it all in. Have another opinion. That doesn't hurt. So have another opinion. Just keep it, and then make your own decision on everything. Look, but coming back to Nasdaq, yes, as I said, for now I am leaning a little bit more towards the upside, but very, very carefully, only with like small little steps. Dow, look, so far, and this is what I kind of talked about yesterday. Basically, I said to you, I'm still keeping an eye on these two territories, these two levels, the 33,800 on the upside and the 33,560 on the downside. Basically, this here, so far is proving my theory. My theory is that I'm waiting for a clearance, but not only that, I would like to see the body of the daily candle staying out either below this hurdle or above this barrier. Simple as that. At the moment, if you remember, in the beginning of this week, I said that, look, I'm watching this as if it's like a possible bullish flag, but for that idea, I need to see a good clearance, and I need to see the index staying above that 33,800 level at least, and then I'll get a little bit more comfortable with the upside. Patterson, Adrian 40, hi, how are you? Hello. That's what I like to see, honestly. Comments, yeah, that that lifts my spirit a little bit. It seems like that I'm not talking to myself all the time here, although I am kind of in a way sometimes, but you know, it's kind of a yeah, but still, thank you very much. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the comment. You know, even if it's just a hello, kind of, you know, makes it a little bit more lively. Look, that was a good move for me, like that, you know. But anyway, look, anyway, too many anyways. DAX. Let's have a look at DAX. DAX. Okay, DAX, I don't know. I mean, it's just stuck. I don't know. What are we waiting for? I thought inflation numbers might move it a little bit. Maybe, you know, we're something else. I don't know. Maybe we need some sort of a crisis or something like that, because this is just, okay, a range trader's paradise. If you're using something like a grid system, guys, on trading, then honestly, I think that this has been paradise for you. But, this is the thing. This is the problem with all these grid systems. Yes, they kind of work, but if you get it right, if it kind of works nicely, let's say, you know, you manage to find distinct, or like, you know, figure out that, oh, this is going to be a range now. Let's, you know, just do the grid system. And in a way, yeah, okay, that kind of works. But then you just need a catalyst, some sort of just kind of, you know, take it out, and like for this index to kind of move out, or like some other instrument to move out of it, out of the range. That's it. You're kind of done with that. So, look, if you were enjoying this moment, congratulations, guys. Of course, you have to understand that something, you know, all of it comes to an end. However, will it come to the end in the next few days? I don't know. Again, for now, I'm just observing this price action here. I'm waiting for a clearance maybe of the 16,063 territory here for the upside. For the downside, a drop somewhere below this 15,800 level could do the trick potentially. Because look, I talked about the 700 level here, but I think I'll now slowly start sticking to. Let me just adjust a few things here. I'll start sticking to the 800 level right here, just to see if actually it's gonna, you know, work nicely or not. But look, slowly. For now, I'm just observing this one, and I'm kind of really, I'm gonna keep on picking up on this one every day. Maybe trying to find something, but for now, we're just kind of ranging here. Now, the FTSE 100, BoE, the Bank of England today, later on, check out the economic calendar, guys, to check what time it's coming out, like in your area. But interest rates, look, interest rates, I would say they are expecting for a kind of an increase for 25 basis points. Now, comparing the two, let's say the BoE, the Fed, and comparing inflation numbers in UK and the US. So if US is now slightly below 5%, look, UK is on a move. Let's say it's currently has around 10.1, something like that. Let me just double check. Yep. 10.1, the recent number was that came out in April. Oh, sorry, yeah, in April. Okay, it's on a bit of a decline, don't get me wrong, that's fine, but still around 10% inflation. And they have interest rates around 4.25, and yep, now they're going to go to 4.5. So basically, it's kind of a little bit, somebody might say that the Fed has its rates well above the kind of norm, I would say. So again, is that the case, or maybe is Europe kind of UK and Europe are lagging a little bit because we have a similar situation with the ECB? So what's how to look at this? I mean, there could be different theories. Maybe US is a little bit went a little bit too far with the Fed went too far with the hikes. Maybe Europe and UK are just kind of playing the catch-up game. Again, it's very subjective, I think. I think that you need to always look at what's working for you. If it's working for you, then yes, this is what I said in the beginning of this video. If it's working for you, great. Whatever everybody else does, just kind of okay. You can keep an eye on that. You can listen to that, but still do what's good for you. Look. So the FTSE, I talked about FTSE in the beginning of this week. I said to you that this is what I'm watching for now. I have this little downside line, a tentative one, of course. I need to see a clearance of that in order to go higher. Simple as that. For the downside, drop somewhere below this territory, as you can see here, below this highlighted zone. Not highlighted, but the marked zone here, the 7,687. If we do drop below it, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low and potentially could attract a few more sellers into the game. At the same time, we would fall below the 100-day EMA, and this could open the door towards the 200-day EMA. US dollar is stuck, and we're stuck in this kind of somewhat of a wedge pattern, or maybe some of you might look at it as a triangle pattern, but either way, confirmation breakout is needed because this is not really working out well for neither of the sides. So we're just going to continue observing the price action. If we do start clearing this downside line, okay, great. But my preferred upside scenario is from around here, from around that 102 zone. For the downside, I need to see a break of this upside line, and then we'll get comfortable from there. Now let's jump into gold. Gold was on a roller coaster ride yesterday as well. Look at this. So far, my kind of theory is working out here because what I said to you before that if we continue to trade above the 2030 territory, I will continue aiming to the upside. Well, this is where my problem is right now, and because I said to you previously as well that if this kind of looks like something of a bearish flag, but again, if it is a bearish flag, so still I would like to see a drop somewhere below this 2015 territory in order to go lower. Now, will we get that? Let's wait and see. For now, I am kind of leaning a little bit to the upside, but if suddenly it starts shifting back below the 2030 territory, this is going to be my area where I'm going to remain neutral. I'm just going to observe the price action. If it starts getting closer to the 2015 territory, well, guys, I mean, maybe we could see a bit of a decline, a bit of a correction to the downside. So, we did eventually, in general, we did kind of test that level of mine, this territory of mine, which I talked about previously. I spoke about this downside line, which has been running here from, 2020. So when we, reached that high point here, and we then started selling off. Let me just grab this. There we go. So this downside line is kind of, played out nicely as a good area of resistance. But what I also said to you previously, that if we do clear this downside line, that may attract much more buyers because maybe we are kind of right now setting the new norm. So let's say 2000 or the area around the 2000 level could be that kind of golden middle, because look, we could still drift back down maybe to the 1900s here, or we could push towards the 2100. So basically something like that. So basically I'm just trying to say that maybe you know, now it's kind of the new norm, because maybe everybody was thinking, oh, you know, when we were back here, let's say in 2020 in the beginning of March, and then like we were around 1,600. We traveled higher sharply here. We tested that, you know, the area above the 2,000 zone. Then we drifted back down, so we kind of established a new norm around the 1,800. Maybe now we're establishing the new norm around 2,000, and that means that we could see the gold kind of moving around maybe 1,900 and you know, 2,100, something like that, for a couple of years. Again, this is only pure speculation. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but just kind of, you know, trying to think out loud. What could happen? You know, this is what by the way, we do on a daily basis, right? I mean, we're trying to figure out what could happen. So at this point, looking at the picture here from the shorter term perspective, I'm kind of, something deep inside me says that, hey, this is a bearish flag. But to be honest, I've seen this happening, like shaping up in the opposite direction several times. So that's why I stick to my confirmation breaks, and then I do something about it. At the moment, we're above the 2030 territory. So in a way, this kind of is leaning a little bit more towards the upside. But if we start falling here back below it, then this could maybe start becoming a little bit more attractive for these sellers. Silver, just a quick update, not going to spend too much time on this one. We drifted back down, and because we're currently in this little range, we fell back below the 25.39 territory right here. So that means that maybe we could see a bit of a decline towards the 24.74 territories, or 73 territory, somewhere around here. Or maybe this, in general, this 24.6373 area could be a good target. That's going to be my target for now. I think I know that gold and silver do tend to move in the same direction, and I'm kind of a little bit bullish on the gold, but bearish on silver. Maybe actually silver is the indicator showing that, you know, where the metals could go right now. But look, the dollar is not strong enough yet, so that's why anything can happen. Maybe this will be just, you know, a bad breakout here. Maybe we'll reverse back up on silver. But either way, looking at this picture, I'm kind of leaning towards the downside a little bit, just because it's below this one of my hurdles. And to be honest, I want to stick to my rules, and although yes, I do have mixed feelings inside me, but I do want to stick to the rules, because again, this is where you need to keep your cool head on. If it doesn't work, at least you were right in front of you, in front of yourself. So so just let's say for now, let's slowly maybe aim for this territory, as long as we stay below this 25.39 territory. If we start pushing above the 25.50 zone right here, back above it, I will start maybe considering the upside. Platinum, this is something that I wanted to pick up on, and yeah, this is beautiful. This is quite nice. I mean, I think that my idea worked out nicely here, because in general, what I said to you previously when I had this downside line still on, that I said that if we break this downside line, we could go higher. Then yesterday I said that in general, my target is this, the 1,135 area, and we came very close to it. To be honest, I'll take that good result, and now we're seeing a bit of a correction. So this is where this arrow could come in nicely. If we do get a corrective move here, lower, then I'm keeping an eye on this little hurdle, this 1,090 territory, somewhere around here. If it provides good support, a nice rebound could be possible. If it falls below the 1,076 territory right here, I will consider a larger correction to the downside. Oil, very quickly on this one, not going to spend too much time on this one as well, because again, I talked about it, and we didn't really get much. We did get a bit choppy session yesterday, but look, we still remained above this downside line, so in a way, the upside scenario is kind of not off the table. However, as I will stick to my idea, and I will say that I'm going to aim for higher levels if we do push above the 74 territory right there. If we get that, good, I will slowly aim to the upside. BTC USD. BTC USD, look, we are currently stuck here, and To be honest, I think I'm gonna start slowly shifting towards my idea that I've mentioned here in the beginning. I said that in the beginning of, the end of April and the beginning of May, that, hey, maybe, just maybe, we have ourselves here a nice little head and shoulders pattern, where a complex one, because we have our the two left shoulders, one head, and the two right shoulders. Well, in order to get even more comfortable with that scenario, a break of this upside line, which at the same time could be the neckline. So a break of this upside line is required, and then, yes, maybe also an additional drop below the 26,550 territory could be an ideal option. Now, in terms of the upside, look, in terms of the upside, I would like to see a push. A push above this downside line. I'm going to take a very careful approach, maybe a bit of a conservative one. I do understand that we could be missing out on a bit of territory right here, but to be honest, as I mentioned before, that push above the 29 territory is I think 29,000 territory is a good option to consider. Dogecoin, very quickly on that one. Look, so far so good. We're still below this highlighted territory, and in a way, this idea is kind of working out nicely. So look, we could be seeing here a nice bearish flag again, or sorry, not again. Well, actually, yes, again, because we had something around here and which worked out nicely. So now we're having another possible bearish flag. But look, if you're not comfortable with that, I said before that a drop below the 0.0707 territory would be ideal, and then we could go further south. At this point, yes, I'm just observing this one, but let's see if this is going to work out nicely here for the bears. For the bulls to work out nicely, we need to see a breakout of this downside line. Well, look, also my ideal scenario is from around here, from around that 0.0836 territory, but I will start looking at some higher levels already, let's say. Not from here. This is just me trying to find some sort of logic in these numbers. But look, I will start looking at some higher levels already from this zone. So probably I'll be a little bit more modest here, and I'm going to do something around this. If we do break the downside line, I will go a little bit higher. Now let's jump into a few pairs, guys, very quickly. AUDUSD. So we had our breakout again, but we failed to stay above it. So now we're drifting back to the downside. Now, this, of course, is kind of pushing me towards the idea of a correction. Again, this is the fact that the fact that the upper side of the range is providing fantastic resistance. You know, it's kind of, you know, it's giving you these thoughts that, hey, maybe it's not all good in the bull block there. You know, they're struggling to push and keep the pair above that hurdle. So maybe the bears could step in. However, I think that more bears will step in somewhere below these EMAs. If we do fall below the last 50-day EMA right here on my chart, then that's where I'm going to get a little bit more excited with the downside. Maybe more of the bears would get excited with the downside, because until we're kind of, as long as we're continuing to oscillate around these EMAs, I am just kind of observing the price action. AUDNZD, one of my favorite ones. I think I've already mentioned this several times, that AUDNZD is one of my favorite pairs. And look at this. We after we kind of moved above this 1.0683, I said I'm going to aim for higher levels, and we did aim initially, but somehow we found resistance around here, and I think that this has been the inside swing low of the 14th of April. So we found resistance near this hurdle, this 1.0735 area, and we drifted back down. We fell back below the 1.0683. So now the question is, what's next? Well, for the upside, I think I'm gonna go higher from this area. In the short run I'm talking about, because again, I have to point this out because we're still in between these two trend lines. Yes, we're knocking on the door of the upside support line here, this trend line. So in a way, this kind of is pointing to the idea maybe we could see a breakout here or something like that. So if we do get that breakout, great. More sellers could join in. Maybe we could see a retest of the lowest point of April near the 1.0588. And if that gets clear, this will confirm a forthcoming lower low, guys. So for now, I am kind of leaning a little bit more towards the downside, but a confirmation break is needed for me. AUDCAD, just a quick update. I'm not going to spend too much time on this one because, again, I talked about this one and I said that it's becoming one of my other favorite pairs to look at, and just because it's quite technical and yeah, we're kind of forming something of a bullish flag here. But we need a confirmation break first above the 0.9107, something like that area, and then we'll get a little bit more comfortable with the upside because this would confirm a forthcoming higher high. And could open the door towards some higher levels. But for the downside, I need to see a drop not only back below this downside line, but also below this 0.8958. And actually, depending on how this is going to trade, maybe this downside line is no longer going to be valid, but I'm going to keep it for now just for the sake of it. NZDUSD, just a quick update. I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, so yeah, a few adjustments have to be made here. Let's remove all the drawings, but one line that I want to get in return is this. This is where we're currently finding good resistance, not far from that 0.6390 territory. So if you're looking for some higher levels, guys, then yes, a clearance of that area is needed, and then this could open the door towards the 0.6538 territory, somewhere around here. If we want to go lower, I will apply a simplistic approach here, and I'll wait for a drop below all of the EMAs, and then I'll aim lower a little bit, just by a little bit. Now, in order, then this is where I'm going to aim for. If we do drop below all the EMAs, I'm going to aim for this upside line. Now then, this area right here and this hurdle right here. So let me just, there we go. I think I need to enlighten this a little bit. There we go. So this is the barrier, my barrier for the upside. I need to see a break of it in order to go higher. USDJPY. Okay, look, this one's a little bit of a mess. Because yes, as you can see here, this 135.30, look, I talked about that level and it kind of worked out nicely. So yes, we did push above that initially, but then we sold off heavily. Yes, inflation came out on the lower side, so that kind of put the some pressure on the dollar. But as we saw here, the dollar is not giving up. Now, the problem here with the USDJPY is that maybe actually it's not the weakness of the dollar that kind of kicked in. It's more of a strength of the yen, Japanese yen, and something seems to be spooking the market. Actually something, I think I know something that starts with the word debt and then ends with the other word ceiling. And maybe, that's what's kind of forcing the market participants to kind of be a little bit on the cautious side, and that's why yen buying is kind of picking up. Now, will we get a nice decline, a further decline? Again, we need some confirmation because I need to see a drop below the upside line, and then yes, we will start aiming for some lower levels right here, maybe for that 133.50, maybe below that, and so on and so on. So basically, I'll make my arrow a little bit smaller here. So basically, if you're looking for some lower levels, then a break of this and a drop below all, and yeah, the body of the daily candle should stay below all the EMAs here on my daily chart, and then yes, at the same time we will stay below the upside line, and more sellers could join in. USDCAD, now look at this beauty. After we had this beautiful sharp decline, we kind of came very close to that one of my targets, the 1.33 zone, and yes, we stalled here, and then we started moving back to the upside. And look, for now, what I'm considering here is that yes, we're seeing a bit of a move higher, but if we continue to trade below the 200-day EMA, maybe we're not really done with the downside scenario, because again, this could be seen as a bearish flag, but not an ideal one, because it's not really kind of aligned carefully. So that's why I would say And for now, I'm gonna keep an eye on this. I'm keeping the downside scenario on the table still, but yes, from the short-term perspective, maybe for today we could see a bit of a more retracement here to the upside, maybe a test of this 200-day EMA. But if that holds, then another decline could be possible. US dollar against the Mexican peso, boom, fantastic. I'm happy with this because my target was the area around the 17.50 territory, and I said to you that I will aim for that area if we do drop below the 17.90 zone. Well, look at this beautiful thing. Because I don't have history here, previous history in my chart, that's for me here, this is the uncharted territory. So long story short, I am, like I said, yes, I am aiming for that beautiful number of 17.5 still. But to be honest, if you've managed to, take this idea here and use it, and if you're, let's say, right now in profit, I would say, take your profit, because it's never, you never reach the exact level. Not always. It's sometimes we're aiming for these beautiful numbers, like in this case 1750 or something like that. Then it comes very close to it, teases you for a little bit, and then reverses and goes against you. So that's why I would say, if you're already in profit, congratulations, take it and run. If you're not, then I don't suggest here chasing the market. Let it play, let it do whatever it does, and just keep an eye on that 1750 territory. If it provides good support, we could see a nice rebound, maybe a push back up. GBPUSD. So of course, the big show could be here today on GBPUSD. We have the BoE coming out, Bank of England, with the interest rate decision, and we have the PPIs, the US PPIs coming out. So basically, GBPUSD could be the pair that could see the most volatility today. So if you like to trade this pair, I would say be careful. Or have your stop loss in place. Always have your stop loss in place, just in case if it goes against you. So it did, the days like this could be a bit too volatile, and let's say if you manage to take the wrong position, then it could take you out very, very quickly. For now, like I said, for my upside scenario, I'm looking at this 1.2666. For my downside scenario, I am very, very conservative. I'm waiting for a drop below this upside line taken from the low of the 26th of September of 2022. And if we do get that drop, then yes, I will get a little bit more excited with the downside. For now, I'm just observing. We're just stuck in a range as well. I'm just observing the price action. GBPCHF, something that I don't look at very often, but I do like it. Look, I said to you recently that we're currently having this potential idea of a possible bullish flag. We're also above above the 50 and the 100-day EMA. So we're still, this 100-day EMA is providing fantastic support. So yes, in a way, there could be some more upside. However, as I said to you recently, that I need to see a push at least above this 1.1260 territory, and I would like to see the body of the daily candle staying above that area in order to get comfortable with the upside and aim for that 200-day EMA. I'm not aiming for this downside line, although it would be great, but I'm initially aiming for this 200-day EMA, and then we'll go from there. For the downside, I need to see a drop somewhere below this 1.1192, but even then, we have a problem. We have, from the short-term perspective, we have this little problem. So depending on how this is going to play out, if, let's say, we're going to shift a little bit more to the right, maybe actually this upside line will get broken first, and then, yes, we can easily continue monitoring this 1.1192, and if we can get a drop below it, this may open the door to some slightly lower levels. EURGBP, okay. EURGBP is so far okay. That's the only thing. That's the only word I can find with for EURGBP. I said to you previously that, look, if we continue to trade somewhere below this territory, below this broken support area, which now could be classed as a nice resistance area between the 0.8718 and 28. So if we continue to trade below that, then yes, I will aim lower. However, I will get a little bit more comfortable with the downside on a drop below the 0.8675. For the upside, I need to see a break of this downside line taken from the high of the 27th of April. I know it's a little bit on the tentative side, but hey, nevertheless, it's still a trend line which could play out nicely. And EURCAD, look, I haven't looked at this one for quite a while as well, but we're breaking my trend lines. I talked about these, and look, this idea worked out. Okay, look at how actually I haven't looked at this one for quite a while, but look, I talked about previously this one and said that if we do rebound from this area somewhere, we could go a little bit higher. It took a while, but it took another retest of the upside line, and then yes, we ended up traveling to this area, so that's great. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to remove a few lines. This arrow, this upside line, and I'll keep this one. Because so far it seems to be like playing out nicely because it's providing a bit of a hold up from underneath here. It's acting as a good area of resistance as well. But the main level that I'm keeping an eye on, of course, is this right here. Let me just put this. Yeah. Let me just adjust this very quickly. So this is the area, this is the territory that I'm watching right now. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a bunch of other good levels to keep an eye on as well. But I think that, like for example, this one, the 1.4585, yes, true, but I'll start looking at some lower levels already from the 1.4642 because somehow this area is providing support, and we can see by yesterday's activity, trading activity. So yeah, if you're looking for some lower levels, then I will start aiming for the downside from around this 1.4642. But then be careful, be cautious of the 100-day EMA together with this 1.4585 territory. If that gets cleared as well, okay, wonderful. We could see a slide towards the 200-day EMA. And then, we'll have to just see what it does after that. Does it rebound? Does it, go further south or something? But at the moment, I'm kind of leaning a little bit more towards the downside. For me, the upside scenario actually could come somewhere on a break of this barrier, above this barrier, the 1.4841. Sorry. This is the inside swing low of the 1st of May. If we get that push, then I'll start aiming for this territory right here, this area between the around that 1.51 zone, and then we'll see if we can clear that one or not. But that's my upside scenario. I do understand that we could be missing out on a bit of territory, but at the same time, what could happen? Yes, that's correct. We could start oscillating around that 50-day EMA. So I'm just trying to protect myself. And finally, EURUSD. So yeah, boom, there we go, guys. Beautiful drop below this lower side of the range. Finally, yesterday we got that drop, but we failed to stay above it. Now we're seeing a nice move lower, and the question is, will we stay there? If we continue to trade below that territory, below that 1.0964 area, approximately around there, then yes, my next target, as I said before in all my videos previously, my next target is the 50-day EMA together with this 1.0909 area. Well, so far, we're on the right track. But again, as I said, only if we continue to trade below the 1.0964. If we somehow push back up and stay today above it again, maybe the downside scenario, we're not ready for that. Maybe not. Maybe it's actually, the slightly north we should be looking at. But let's wait and see. For now, like I said, we're keeping an eye on it. We're seeing some nice activity to the downside. Let's see if the bears can maintain that activity. Okay, guys, so yeah, that's it for this session. Look, we do have some data coming out today, the BoE, so yep, we're expecting a 25 basis point increase. Let's see if that happens. Let's see if there's maybe more to that, or maybe they will stick to the, to the current rate. But at the moment, yeah, the expectation is for the 25 basis point increase. Let's see if that's going to happen. The PPIs, yep, something to keep monitoring too as well. That may affect nicely the dollar, or I mean nicely. By nicely, I mean create some volatility, not in a positive or negative way or any way. No, I'm talking about the creation of volatility. This is something maybe that we need a little bit. And yeah, of course, if once the PPIs come out, keep an eye on the metals like gold and silver as well. That that could fluctuate. So yeah, a lot of things to consider. Look, in terms of like tomorrow, in terms of economic data for tomorrow, we do have Britain again on the calendar with its GDP preliminary GDP numbers. I think. Oh, and the month-on-month number is coming out, not the headline one. Okay, that's going to be good. Manufacturing production numbers are coming out from UK. What else from the US? We do have the Michigan consumer sentiment, but that's all preliminary. But yeah, that's kind of it. So I think that the main rhetoric will remain about the debt ceiling and how it can negatively affect the market and so. But yeah, look, one thing I would say to you that try not to predict too much the future. Try to see how the data comes out and then maybe do something about it. Keep your stop losses in place, risk only what you can afford to lose, and everything will be fine. So yeah, have a nice trading day today, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a beautiful day. Bye-bye. Uh-oh, you just broke a digital image cursing us all to 7 years of market volatility. Undo by subscribing to our channel.